Hello, my name is TinyShiny, interviewing on behalf of Kryix here at the Dallas DreamHack event. We've had incredible Overwatch games and talent be seen throughout the course of the weekend, and I have the pleasure to sit down today with Cal, recently joining the NRG Shock, and to come through this weekend. Cal being here and with probably one of the most iconic roster announcements of all time. To walk me through, what was that like being on stage, going through this process of becoming a new team?
Uh, I thought the reveal was a little corny before he went up, and
Yeah.
but I guess it was people liked it, so I guess it's fine. But I guess our general manager Albert came up with the idea,
Mhm.
talked to our connect at Shock about it, and they said that sounds great, let's do it. Got caps and gowns here, did our little photo shoot, and then we brought it back to our hotel, and then we kind of just went over it, and we're like, we're gonna do this, and then I was like, why don't we just like throw our cap and
That was your idea?
yeah, and they were like, sure, go ahead. Just if you hit somebody, that might suck,
You
but
hit you didn't hit anybody though,
I
right?
did hit somebody.
You did hit somebody.
Yeah, and
Oh
they came
no.
up to me, but they
Okay.
got all of us to sign in stuff. I apologized, and yeah,
Oh,
that's
that's so
about it.
sweet. See, even if it was like a little corny, sure, but it was still fun, and I definitely people will definitely be remembering that for a very long time. And I know for you, it's not necessarily your first LAN experience being at the World Cup at BlizzCon, another event of similar scale, but it's not necessarily the same thing as we're seeing with DreamHack today. Like, what is it like playing in this environment with just the sheer amount of people that are around here?
It's nice, but I think that there's a lot of things that we couldn't control that we weren't really prepared for. Like of course like the technical difficulties, which really
Mm-hmm.
sucked, but nothing you can really do about that. Uh, there's a lot of things that we got to work on as a team for our next LAN that isn't really in game. It's sort of like out of game things,
Mm-hmm.
like when we're waking up, like we should be doing stuff as a team, like having breakfast together, just more of like team
Mm-hmm.
building things. So like when we're actually like talking and playing in the game, where it's much more smoother and like nicer, more like professional as
Mm-hmm.
like a group. And yeah, I guess getting better in earbuds too would be nice. That's another thing that I think that we need to work on.
Hey, there you go. And I think with a lot of what we talk about esports is like, all right, there's these people that are playing games, and it's a lot different in an online environment when you're at your own comfortable setup and you're able to adjust things to however you want versus when you're at a LAN where you might have some of these unexpected delays or you have other issues going on behind the scenes that are out of your control, and it's just a completely new sort of thing. When you're talking about, especially kind of bonding more as a team now that you are part of the NRG Shock, is that something that you think has brought you all closer together and that you're going to kind of keep working on this more team aspect as we continue to move on?
I think that it has brought us closer as a team, but I think that it's definitely gonna be a lot different when we're all back home. I think it's be
Mm-hmm.
hard to like instantly go back to adapting of like not being able to be together, not being able to like face to face talk one on one with somebody.
Yeah.
But I think that we're gonna be able to go back, get think about like everything that we did here, and move on to like all the rest of the tournaments with like a new, I guess, like brain and just outlook on
Mm-hmm.
everything.
It's kind of this new mindset that you're heading into this with, and I'd imagine it's quite the adjustment as well, going from the students of the game, a fan favorite team nonetheless, but now joining the NRG Shock and being under that NRG tag. Does that come with some sort of any sort of pressure? Like, what does it really feel like to have a big name like that behind you?
Uh, Personally, I guess I've been on like a couple pretty big sized teams like Team Canada and the
Mm-hmm.
Gladiators, so it doesn't really sure it means a lot to have like this many fans and stuff and like this I guess I guess just being on the Shock is nice.
Mm-hmm.
But I think for the rest of like my younger teammates, like it means a lot to them, and so I'm very happy that they got this opportunity to represent this brand,
Mm-hmm.
especially like this brand itself is like very nice,
It
and
is,
I
yeah.
think that having that many fans could make a couple of them nervous here and there, but I think it's gonna do more better than it would be worse.
Mhm. And you bring up a great point there too, because your roster is, I believe, has the youngest average age out of all the teams that are currently here for DreamHack, and you definitely have some of the greatest experience in competition just because of that, with the LA Gladiators being in contenders through all that time. And has that really, have you had to step up in more of a leadership role because of that? What does that really look like? What's that sort of dynamic within your team?
Yeah, I guess like not really in game. I think we have a lot of good in game leaders, but out of game, I guess I've more of taken like a role of like a player and kind of a manager, to
Okay.
the point where I'm like not like a manager like booking scrims and stuff, but more of like how a manager would be in like a regular sport. Like I talk to all the players, like get what they're thinking, and more of like connecting them on like a person to person rather than like a
Awesome.
teammate type of thing,
Mhm.
and just like get to know like where their heads at, what they're thinking about, like in game, out of game, everything. And like if they have any questions about like coming here, like they were very confused about some things,
Mhm.
and to help them is like pretty nice.
Especially as a lot of them are just coming out of high school, or even some are still in high school. So they're like, what do you do in a lot of these events? And you can, it's great that they have somebody like you that they can turn to, and in those times where things might not be as certain, that they're in these new environments with a bunch of people kind of cheering for them. And it's your first time qualifying, of course. It's the first major event that we've had with the OWCS still running. And I want to touch on the next steps. Like what's next for the NRG Shock? Do you have any specific goals that you're looking to hit? Anything that, as we move on, kind of to the next couple of stages coming up?
Personally, and I think like for the rest of my team, I think that our main goal is to no longer be looked at as like number 4 in NA. A lot of people say that like, oh, like we're number 4, like we got lucky, but then like you look at like the FACEIT matches and we're just dogging on these teams, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like a lot of stuff that we say is like who's number 4 now. That's like a lot of that's we say that a lot here and there, but I guess we just want to be like a staple like of like being good in NA,
Mm-hmm.
and no longer be like thinking about, oh, is this team gonna make it or are they not, type thing.
Kind of being like, hey, we're here now, like this is serious, you need to be taking us seriously as a team. And the fact, again, you guys are all so young, coming to an event like this is an absolutely insane achievement alone, being that it's your first time. And now that you have this experience, you have the opportunity now to reset and kind of regroup behind this with that FACEIT league that's been going on. You guys have been doing really well in that. I do want to ask, is there any team or player in particular that you guys are interested on playing at some point coming up, whether it's in NA or in another region?
uh ChiYo, me and Chio
ChiYo.
we're pretty good friends, and every land I see him, we chat it up, we chop it up here and there, and I really like talking to him. I like playing with him. A lot of respect for him. He's very good,
Yeah.
and so that's like the one player that I like. Like when I go to a land, like I want to talk to ChiYo. That's like my main thing.
Yeah, Cheeto's the guy. He's the goat, and he's still going on forward. So that's pretty cool that you guys have that friendships, like even outside of your teams, outside of your region, as a matter of fact. And I think that's one of my favorite things about the Overwatch community and seeing people at lands like this is, regardless if they support different teams, they play on different teams, or they're just here as a crowd. They're like, we all can come together under this mutual bond of competitive Overwatch, and of course the competition that you're playing in is the forefront of that. So it's always amazing to hear that you guys are also having those same sort of experiences behind the scenes, and it can continue to have that moving forwards. I do think that we're getting kind of wrapped up here as we get to time. So I want to give you a moment just to kind of share your thoughts on uh, being on this team, being at DreamHack, and what it really means to you.
I'm very grateful for NRG for acquiring us. We've been looking for a while for somebody to play under, and it hasn't really felt right until now. And I think that there's big things coming for us, and I think that this won't be the last time we're at LAN. I think that we're going to qualify for the rest of the year's lands.
I think it's always good to have the confidence on your side, and especially as a spectator of Overwatch, it's been amazing to see you guys compete and, of course, succeed as a team, even if it might not be the results that you wanted. That you're not letting that get you down. You're like, okay, we have this massive team org at our backing, and we can continue to play this forwards. And we're really looking forward to seeing you guys at further lands. And we greatly appreciate your time here on the interview to get this behind the scenes look of what it's like to compete here at DreamHack.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.